the next 60 minutes here on Newsnight, Minority questions government's decision to take over Airtel Tigo despite its consistent market losses.
So I'm hoping that there could be some clarity from government in respect of why it wants to take over Airtel Tigo at this particular moment.
We interrogate why government is taking over a telecoms firm here on Newsnight. Also, tonight Ghana spends $500 million annually for power it does not use. Government is tonight pushing for the VRA to export power to West African countries to provide relief.
VRA, with their rich experience, will explore the export market. Who's the burden of this overcapacity for the government? Now we have excess capacity. Please increase the export ability of yours.
And also, why angry supporters of the MPP allegedly chased out ECG officials for cutting power during visit by the Vice President.
Had really put everything in place, and everything was really going on very well until the arrival of His Excellency Alhaji Bawumia and his entourage.
And in business, government to end first quarter of next year spending a little over 14 billion Ghana cedis more than revenue raised, as Finance Minister Kenneth Ferretta insists that the economy is on a rebound from next year.
And we have the latest from the world of sports for you.
Former FIFA Under-20 World Cup winner Gladson Awaku believes he has a lot to offer as he anticipates a call-up to the Black Stars. Details when I join you much later with sports.
You want to join us with your thoughts and comments, 055-11-11997. Plus, we have more reactions to the Finance Minister's budget presentation to Parliament. Today, we hear from former Finance Minister Seth Tekbe and also speak to an analyst about the bold declarations of the Ghanaian economy making a faster than anticipated recovery. What do you make of the budget? Send me your thoughts here on Newsnight. Well, government is back in the business of telecommunications, and tonight the minority members on the Communications Committee in Parliament are questioning the decision by government to take over Airtel Tigo when the entity has been posting losses in recent times. Bharti Airtel's board on Wednesday declared the sale of its Ghana joint venture Airtel Tigo to the government. Now, the proposed deal will result in the government of Ghana acquiring 100% shares of Airtel Ghana Limited, also known as Airtel Tigo, now along with all its customers' assets and agreed liabilities. But speaking to John News, member of the Communications Committee, Ras Mubarak, says government owes the taxpayer clarity on this deal.
Well, I find that very, very bizarre. Bizarre to the extent that Airtel Tigo, truth be told, is not doing well. It has been on a downward spiral for quite a while now. Okay, government already controls some shares in Vodafone Ghana. One would wonder why government would want to wholly take over Airtel Tigo, especially when the prospects of a turnaround look a bit bleak, so you're talking about the people's taxpayers' money, in a venture that in the nearest future might not even yield, good dividend.
Mr. Mubarak joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Mubarak, there are jobs at stake. I mean, if the Bharti Airtel decides to pull out, the Ghanaians who work at Airtel Tigo, who may have, as a result, suffered job losses, government is stepping in, then that may save jobs. You don't think that is a good argument to put forward as a reason why government will have to take over this entity?
There are indeed jobs at... Good evening, Evans. There are indeed jobs at stake, but at what cost? First of all, government has not told the good people of Ghana why it wants to take over Airtel Tigo, and I think they owe it to us, to explain, reasons why they're taking over Airtel Tigo. Secondly, Evans, government is the referee, in the business. NCA is the regulator, so if you have the referee also coming in as a player, then it raises issues of fairness in the competition. There are other players in the industry, and one might wonder whether government is not overreaching its hand. Okay? Airtel Tigo, huge liabilities. You see, government should not be in the business of bailing out companies that have not been run well. If you go about doing that you would end up having a situation where, people will just allow companies to fail, and then because they know that government will bail them out.
But in the case of Airtel Tigo, what's the alternative then? Allow the company to simply go bust and everybody goes home. What's the alternative?
Government has some shares already. Okay, in Vodafone Ghana, 30% shares. I mean, since Ghana Telecom was sold to Vodafone, the company hasn't paid the Ghanaian people any dividend, and that is as a result of government's own inability to fulfill some part of the deal. Okay, so you have one instance where government is unwilling to fulfill its contractual obligation to make Vodafone viable and to be able to expand and grow. And with expansion and growth of Vodafone Ghana, it means more jobs. Okay, even though the shares are just about 30%. The thing is that government should not be in the business of running, a telecoms company, as far as I am concerned. And I think we should not reward, chief executive officers with bailouts, especially if they haven't, properly, run their countries in a way that makes them profitable. But you also have some unfairness in the telecoms industry, where spectrums, have, for instance, been sold to one player, giving that particular player extra mileage and advantage over the other players. Now, if Vodafone is coming, if government is coming in to take over Airtel Tigo, there are genuine concerns by other players in the industry whose businesses could also go bust as a result of, government being the referee at the same time the player. So there's got to be clarity. As we speak, it's been more than 24 hours since news broke. Government hasn't seen it fit to even explain to the Ghanaian people why,
this decision has been taken. But I wonder, on the Communications Committee, such a significant decision by government, we don't know how much this is costing the taxpayer. Has any briefings been done for the Communications Committee on this matter?
It hasn't, and very sadly, that is the attitude of government. Especially the minister responsible for communications in treating the Committee on Communications. And I've drawn the attention of the chair of the committee just this evening. We are currently, at a workshop considering one bill that is, yet to come before Parliament, before we rise. And I think that they owe it to the Ghanaian people, either explaining through the Committee on Communications or directly to the Ghanaian people why this takeover is happening, how much it's costing the taxpayer, and why government, since government acquired 30% shares in Vodafone, has still not even gotten any dividend, even though Vodafone, has posted some profits over the years.
Mr. Mubarak, thank you very much for your time here on Newsnight. And this, we have to put this in context. The last time government was in the business of telecoms was when, of course, we had Ghana Telecom. The then John Kufuor administration decided that, government should not be in that business, and so divested as much as 70% of Ghana Telecom bought by Vodafone, then at the cost of $900 million. Big controversy then. Now, a total enterprise value of approximately $1.3 billion was the estimated enterprise value. Of course, more than a decade on, back to the point where it appears now government is going back into the business of telecoms. We still yet to get some clarity from government itself on the terms of this particular latest deal to acquire Airtel Tigo. We've reached out to the Communications Ministry. We haven't had any clarity yet on this matter, and because of the substantive nature of this, of course, attracted attention of Parliament. We also know that the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications has a position on this particular matter as well. I wonder what you make of this yourself. 025511119997. Share your thoughts with me as government gets back into the business of telecoms. You're still listening to News Studies on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, today we're learning more about the power sector. The nation has in the last 3 years spent millions of dollars paying for power that is simply not used. Government has tried to renegotiate power purchasing agreements signed by the previous NDC government, but this has so far not been successful. Senior Minister Yausafo Mafo says the Volta River Authority is expected to increase its export of electricity in the West African sub-region as a way of saving government from the annual expenditure of $500 million. Now, Mr. Mafo has been speaking at an event to launch the 60th anniversary of celebrations of the VRA.
We were all witnesses to the 4-year of doomsday prior to the coming into office of the NPP administration. The doomsday brought in its wake panic reaction from the then government, which went into signing a lot of power purchase agreements with independent power producers, IP. This resulted in installed capacity of 5,083 megawatts according to the Energy Commission, when Ghana's peak demand for electricity is about 2,700 megawatts. Of the total installed capacity of 2,300 megawatts has been contracted on a take or pay basis. 2,300 megawatts has been contracted in agreements on a take or pay basis. The net effect is that government has had to pay over $500 million annually for power generation capacity it does not need. $500 for power generation capacity it does not need. And I'm calling on VRA because a special assignment that the VRA with their rich experience will explore the export market, use the burden of this overcapacity for the government. And since they've already attracted the capacity to export to our neighbors, now we have excess capacity. Please increase the export ability of yours to make sure that our take and pay burden is reduced.
Well, Mr. Mafo says government expects to complete its restructuring program for the power sector by 2023.
Relocation of car power ship to Takoradi to achieve full conversion of engines for the utilization of natural gas instead of HFO. The gas base is in Takoradi, and we have this in Tema using the HFO. Now we can say with confidence and with joy that car power ship is in Takoradi and is using gas. GMPC is also in talks with Sankofa to reduce their gas prices by as much as close to 15%, from 9.59 MMBTU dollars to 8.23 MMBTU. This will significantly reduce the sector cost of power. Chairman, government is still pursuing other policies in terms of restructuring and regulation in the energy sector to ensure that the sector comes to balance in 2023. You cannot talk about any economy when you don't have a well-structured power source.
I heard that the Senior Minister Yausafo Mafo will get a reaction from the minority side on the Mines and Energy Committee. They've been reacting to what you just heard there, but still ahead here on Newsnight. Why angry supporters of the MPP allegedly chased out ECG officials for cutting power during a visit by the Vice President. And we'll be hitting the campaign trail shortly also.
had really put everything in place, and everything was really going on very well until the arrival of His Excellency Alhaji Bawumia and his entourage.
Agnes, would you be my girlfriend? Agnes, would you please be my girlfriend? Okay, let's call her.
If you like the caller tune you're about to listen to, press *1 to copy now.
Express yourself with your caller tune and win big with MTN. Simply dial *1355# and download your favorite caller tune or copy or renew your already existing caller tune and stand the chance of winning up to 1,000 CDs weekly, 4,000 CDs monthly, and the grand prize of 15,000 CDs in the MTN Caller Tunes promo. Send stars to 1355 or dial *1355# to subscribe today. We're good together. We there for you everywhere you go.
Fellow Ghanaians, since 2017, the NPP has put over 1.2 million young people through secondary school free because of free SHS. We are leaving no one behind. This December, remember your vote will make a difference in the life of every young person who is currently benefiting from free SHS or getting ready to go to secondary school. Let's protect our progress. Vote NPP. Vote Nana Akufo-Addo for 4 more years to do more for you.
My buddy, why you for just the watch when you can be wild proper? When you for scream, shout, she and kata, put your body, get down, fire your body, catch views, drop the mic. Ghana, the time catch where we for change the way we watch. Welcome to Showmax and to Chow Online Entertainment, from movies and series to sports like EPL and La Liga. Feely from Super Sport and more. You feel enjoy them on any device, anytime. Visit showmax.com today. Let's lucky.
We know it's important to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in your employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is regulated and licensed by the National Health Insurance Authority to provide medical insurance services to institutional clients, families, and individuals. Apex Student Package and International Medical Solutions are all here to cushion you. Visit Apex Health Insurance Office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, or call
0501-683-914
or 0232-000-015. In Kumasi, we are located opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and in Takrady, Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
John Mahama has a solid track record of investing in the health of Ghanaians. He built ultra-modern hospitals such as the Ridge Hospital, University of Ghana Medical Center, Bank of Ghana Hospital, Maritime Hospital, as well as many district hospitals, polyclinics, and CHIP compounds. The next NDC government will provide free primary health care for every Ghanaian. Our free primary health care plan will provide quality health care for all Ghanaians at no cost to the individual. Under this plan, no Ghanaian will pay for health care in district hospitals, polyclinics, health centers, and CHIP compounds. Free primary health care will eliminate cost barrier to health care and guarantee all Ghanaians universal access to quality health care. You will not need a national health insurance card to benefit from free primary health care. John Mahama, provider of massive hospital infrastructure, is ready to deliver free primary health care to all Ghanaians. Vote John Mahama. Vote NDC.
My guy, it's been a while.
My guy,
I'm looking for a safe place in Ghana where I can invest after losing all that money last year. I know you are the investigation minister.
Currently, if you're looking for a safe and dependable fund manager, then it's EDCO. They are the investment banking subsidiary of EcoBank Group, and their fixed income unit trust is the biggest collective investment scheme right here in Ghana. It has generated returns above the treasury bill rate since its inception. You can access your funds anytime without penalties.
Hey, really?
Yes. Access their services at any EcoBank branch. Call 0302-634165 or WhatsApp them on 0595-235065. Also, you can conveniently fund your account using mobile money on all networks, internet banking, or EcoBank mobile app, and many more.
Thank you, Akwesi. I'll call them right away.
Hey, not even a bye-bye. With EDC, financial independence is possible. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. A few of your messages on our WhatsApp console now. This one from Citizen Sika says, I think it is good news for government to choose to buy out Bharti Airtel shares in Airtel Tigo, but the crux of the matter lies in whether the government has a discipline and a business news to make the company compete favorably with its other competitors. That's from Citizen Sika there. Also sharing with us his thoughts, this is from, of course he has known him by, is sending us one from Alajo. Says, so what was the senior minister and energy minister doing over the last 4 years about the excess power that they keeps complaining about? Lawrence says, if government itself can't point a finger to any state-owned company operating at its maximum, why then should they take over Airtel Tigo? Can't government reinvest in Tor, etc.? This is just a misplaced priority. That's his views is viewed there. Another one says, who could have imagined 4 years ago that Ghana would be in debt distress with Nado as president? A few of your messages there on the issues that we've looked at today. Now, to one of those key issues that you've been talking about, let's return to that earlier story about government taking over Airtel Tigo, government acquiring 100% shares in the particular telecoms company. I want to bring in now KEDS International's Apia Adomako. Is a research and policy think tank. They have a significant insight in the area of telecommunications. Mr. Adomako, thank you for your time here on Newsnight. What do you make of this move by government?
Yeah, let me start by thanking you and your listeners who are listening to Joy everywhere in the world. I think government is coming in to prevent market failure. In the normal scheme of things, we don't expect the market to intervene in the market. But however, when there are externalities and the market is not reaching its optimal level, then the state is required to come in. I think we have already been made aware that MTN, for example, has been declared a significant market player. Currently, Airtel, Tigo, and Vodafone, these are the two firms that kind of put some competitive constraint on MTN because they also compete with MTN. So now, if, let's say, we allow Airtel Tigo to extinguish from the market, then we'll be left with Vodafone and MTN, and the market will largely swing to the bigger player, and consumers will not be able to get the best from their usage. And again, on the side of public policy, government is also probably, I don't intend to speak for the government, is trying to also save jobs, because we know that the technology is the bedrock for every country. I mean, we look at this COVID period, we saw how people were working from home and data was even more important than fuel. I mean, more important than petroleum. And so I think this decision may have more public policy rationale than business, and entrepreneurial rationale. In a business sense, it makes no sense for government to salvage the company, but I think there's more to it as a government to ensure that your market is functional.
Yeah, I mean, but you make the point there. government is a terrible sort of animal when it comes to doing business, especially when, if you're considering that of course, the government of the NPP back then in 2008 decided then to sell off a huge stake in Ghana Telecom. Vodafone takes over 70% shares. This is almost a reversal of the policy. I mean, coming back into telecoms, you've made a point. It doesn't make business sense, but isn't that what it is? Because as we've seen with our history when it comes to government in business, they run it down eventually. You expect this to be a permanent move or something that government wants to hold on temporarily until they find somebody suitable to take over?
Yes, I don't expect government to run this company even more than 2 or 3 years. I think for any reasonable government will try to stabilize things and look at how to address the impairment of the company. And I think there is also some issues that nobody is also looking at. Currently, the telecom market is structured in a way that it is not profitable, largely because of how their overexposure to the upstream suppliers. That is those companies that provide services to them, that's the tower companies. We are told that most of these, huge losses of Vodafone, Airtel Tigo, is to these companies, and the figures are so high that it will be a mind-boggling to everybody. And so I think it's not just necessarily government savaging Airtel Tigo is the issue. I think we need to look at the whole telecom structure to make sure that the level playing field is even and that people are not abusing their dominance. Because when you have three players in the upstream service providing tower services, and even the same government even wants to permit 2 of them to merge, and then becoming 2, then you see how the remaining 2 firms can start exploiting the market. So I think that we need to look at the whole telecom market. But to answer this question, I think that the decision for government to go in to get the company is in the best interest of Ghanaian workers, and also to be able to also maintain some level of competition. Already there is an MTN issue of the significant market player that is being worked out by NCA and MTN. That could also lessen the entry barriers to allow the other players to be able to compete effectively. Who knows, when these measures come from NCA, it will make it easier for Vodafone and Airtel Tigo to be able to compete in the market, and then start moving from negative break even and even get return dividends to their shareholders. So I think that we need to be very optimistic about what NCA is doing, but I think government also and the regulator need to do more, because most of these issues could have been averted. Like I keep on saying that when you go for regular screening, you are more likely to be able to detect a growing cancer or a tumor. But if you sit down for 20 years and finally you go there, that time the tumor or the cancer might be at a terminal level. I think we have waited for most things to get to this level and now want to salvage it. And trying to do so, it becomes so expensive for the government and also expensive for the industry.
Thank you very much with those thoughts, Apia Domako, with the research think tank, Cuts International. Ahead, we will take you onto the campaign trail, because angry supporters of the MPP allegedly chased out DCG officials for cutting power during a visit by the Vice President. Also be telling you where the President Nana Akufo-Addo is, and former President John Mahama, also both intensifying their campaign activities in the Greater Accra region and the Northeast region, respectively. Stay with us after business. Hello, George.
Hi, Evan.
Very interesting conversation around government decision to take over Airtel Tigo.
Interesting. I mean, for some, they think that is good because government has to protect jobs and all those things and blah, blah. Some also talk about in a very competitive market and a pro-capitalist market and all the rest, the signals that will send and all those. It's very, very interesting. But I have a firm belief that government might not hold on to this for long. There are still some players that want to come in.
Yeah, but government needs to explain this. I mean,
into the market decision. And whether they plan buying it at a low price and making some
so many
gains
questions
on
to remain. How long will they hold on to it for? How much did it cost us to do this? Why did we decide to do it? A lot of questions still left unanswered. What do you have in the headlines?
Evans, coming up in business, we'll be telling you more about how our government will end the first quarter of next year spending a little over 14 billion Ghana cedis more than revenue raised, as the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta assures of the economy picking up strongly from next year. And also Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta hints of plans to issue up to $5 billion in Eurobond next year, subject to securing the favorable market conditions. Let's now settle for the details in business. And government will end the first quarter of next year actually spending significantly more than revenue raised. According to the estimates presented today by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, government will spend a little over 14 billion Ghana cedis. Now, this was after it sought Parliament's approval, actually spending about 27.4 billion Ghana cedis for the first 3 months of this year, while revenue should be pegged at 13.3 billion Ghana cedis. The minister is also planning to spend, that is breaking down the expenditure numbers, about 7 billion Ghana cedis as paying public sector workers and also 7 billion Ghana cedis on interest payment. Meanwhile, the Minister of Finance also disclosed that he plans raising about 5 billion Ghana cedis to, that is $5 billion in Eurobonds to finance maturing debt. Related development, Deputy Minister of Finance Kukwati says government is still committed to fiscal prudence despite those high expenditure numbers.
I think you should focus more on the year-end deficit. As you would recall, in the first year, in the first quarter after an election year, there are some extraordinary expenditures you need to incur, and therefore, in order to get a balanced picture of what's likely to happen in 2021, you need to look at the year-end projections. We are committed. I'm confident we'll be in power. We're committed to respecting the fiscal path that we have defined, because without it, the recovery will be difficult and Ghanaians will pay the price subsequently. So we're committed to ensuring that the fiscal path is respected. And once that happens, the recovery would follow. And Ghana can safely put COVID behind us and return to the kind of progress we're making, exiting the IMF, improving the macro fiscals that we saw before COVID. We would return to those Finally,
Eurobond. Deputy Minister of Finance Kweku Kwarteng, still let's stay on the budget because the minority leader Haruna Iddrisu has raised serious concerns about the presentation, accusing the Finance Minister of failing to give the true state of the economy.
But as you've noted from the Minister for Finance, conspicuously lost in his presentation is a report on the performance of the Ghanaian economy to give us the real state of the economy, including performance for the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter. We needed to have an appreciation of how has revenue fared with COVID and how will revenue fare tomorrow without COVID or with COVID. How has growth fared with COVID and how will growth fare? You notice that he avoided even sharing with the Ghanaian people what the true state of the economy is. We needed to have an understanding of the state of the economy. Then we know what Excellency John Dramani Mahama will inherit. It will be a fractured, fragile economy dependent on debt and borrowing. He himself hinted that he will be borrowing through a sovereign bond 3 to 5 billion. It is only this Minister of Finance who celebrates borrowing as if that can generate growth and prosperity.
Haruna Iddrisu is the minority leader. Let's move away from the budget and talk about banking because the new chief executive of Stanbic Bank, Kwame Asumani, is expected to formally assume office from December 1 this year. It follows the announcement of the retirement of the current chief executive, Alhassan Andani, by the end of this month. But who is this new managing director taking over as chief executive? There is more in the following Business Desk report.
Alhassan Andani is retiring after years of service with Stanbic Bank. A quick profile of Mr. Asumani: he was Executive Director and Head of Corporate and Investment Banking at Stanbic Bank. He has 21 years of experience in domestic and international banking and finance. From 2006 to 2009, he served as Vice President of the investment banking firm Goldman Sachs. He also worked as an associate with banking firm JP Morgan for 2 years. Mr. Asumani obtained his Bachelor of Science Business Administration degree from the University of Ghana Business School MBA Finance from the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, and AMP from the Harvard School. He's expected to lead the bank and consolidate gains made by Mr. Ndani over the years.
And that was a Business Desk report on the new chief executive of Stanbic Bank, Mr. Kwame Asmin, who's set to take over from December 1 this year. To some market news, and MTN again recorded some significant growth in profits for the first 9 months of this year. According to the third quarter numbers put out by the company, it actually posted a little over 9 billion Ghana cedis for the first 3 months of this year in terms of profits after tax. That was up by some 53% from the same period last year, according to the release from MTN to investors. Subscriber base actually stood at 23.4 million Ghana cedis. In terms of revenue, it posted 4.4 billion Ghana cedis for the first 9 months of this year. Some good news for shareholders of MTN and how that could impact on their earnings as investors in this telecoms giant. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, Evans.
George, thank you very much. Guess who is joining us is a former finance minister, Seth Tekpe. Mr. Tekpe, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
Yeah, good evening to your listeners. Thank you very much.
One of the key things that the finance minister said today was a bold declaration that he's expecting that will make a faster than anticipated recovery in the wake of the devastation caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Listen to him.
The robustness of our macroeconomic fundamentals and the efficacy of government's COVID mitigation measures have been borne out by recent indicators. According to the Bank of Ghana's survey in August 2020, consumer confidence is bouncing back strongly and is currently above pre-COVID-19 lockdown levels. Business confidence has also increased, although below pre-lockdown levels. About 95% of businesses surveyed showed strong optimism, reflecting the improving macroeconomic conditions, stability in the exchange rate, lower input prices, moderation in lending rates, and positive industry prospects. Accordingly, the projected GDP growth rate 2020 reported in July has been revised from 0.9% to 1.9% to reflect these dynamics. As the Bank of Ghana stated, the green shoot of rebound in economic activity are clearly with us. We must be thankful to God for these encouraging developments. This and other assessments provoke a degree of optimism and reveals that the swift, bold, and effective measures implemented by government have been key in quickening the pace of economic recovery. This is the competent leadership we promised under President Akufo-Addo. Indeed, the President's decisive and compassionate leadership in these challenging times have been internationally acknowledged and has added to our reputation as a black star of Africa. Mr. Speaker, I want to reassure the House that despite the setbacks from the pandemic, we are on track to recover.
Mr. Tekpe, do you share the optimism?
No, I don't. And this is my reason. What are we recovering from, which the minister did not tell us? That would give us a task ahead and whether we can make a fast recovery, contrary to, what is being said. First of all, the NPP took a debt at 57% and is leaving it at 77% projected by the end of the year. By the end of the year,
that's 76 to be more precise.
76 points, it's 76.5 or so. So it's around 77, right? If you round it up. Now, they took a deficit, for which they berated the NDC at 6.3, which includes the offsets that they did. We can talk about that later. And we are ending at 15%. Growth below 2%. The positive ones, of inflation. Remember, we did a rebasing in 2018. And so it is projecting a very good rebasing of the of the inflation basket. Now, this is the task, just to cite this few examples, this is the task that is facing the nation. And how fast are we going to recover to a middle income country bracket debt of 55 to 60%? right? 70, as you cited, makes your debt get unsustainable. But if you want to be effective in the market, then you should be between 55 to 60% to be effective in the market. How are we going to recover from our downgrade by all three major rating agencies?
But Mr. Tech, there are some hard facts. There are some hard facts that point to a faster than anticipated recovery. I mean, one of them is the original projection of GDP growth rate, for example. It was originally projected that will do 0.9%. That has been revised to 1.9%. That clearly shows that something is changing.
Well, compare that to what the NPP derated. We did on the old basis 3.6, 2.8 on the new basis at the end of 2016.
Yeah, but you didn't have COVID. There was no pandemic then.
Let me come to COVID. But let me finish this point, then I'll come to COVID. Then there was no COVID, but we had a global financial crisis. Crude oil prices fell. Doomsaw, which was a disruption in gas supply. These were all crises. We cannot downplay them as the NPP did. Otherwise, then we have to downplay COVID. But let me make the point. So you are not moving from a sluggish 2.8 on account of the factors which I just mentioned, and then going into the following year with two new oil fields. Sankofa and 10 has happened in 2017, for which they took the credit. And so you are not going to have that boost to the economy. We are going to be recovering at a normal pace, maybe at 3 to 5%, which is good because of the investments, that were made. So I'm saying that this is the picture. Let's have no illusion that these are not figures which you can recover from, immediately.
So what's your projection? How long would it take, do you think, to recover?
No, let me rather put it. Why are we where we are in COVID? I'll come to the question. Why are we where we are? Remember when the government went to Parliament? They gave the cost of COVID to be about $500 million US. Later, by the time they got to the IMF, this had increased to $1 billion US. Now, if you add that with the World Bank and African Development Bank and everything, you were right. It all adds up to about 10 billion. Which, by what they told the IMF when they went for COVID, was only 2.5%. 2.5% of GDP. So the question, the government projected 4.9% in the 2020 budget. Let's make it 5%. If you add 2.5 or even, let me be generous, 3%, that makes it 8%. Our deficit is going to be 15% minimum. So what is accounting for the 7%? It's not COVID.
What is it? What is your best guess?
One, in the 2020 budget, it's not a guess, it's a fact. In the 2020 budget, they got a 4.9% because they left out completely the energy sector, cost. They left out completely the banking sector. You can check it. Go to the appendix, of the budget, the media review, and you will see it. They were 0-0. So they had to make an adjustment after the IMF did a revision to 7%. Remember the parallel numbers? The other three big elements that created, the difference were: one, they adjusted for wages. Two, they adjusted for interest payments. And then below the line, they had to adjust for amortization. And this is accounting for the 7%. It has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with COVID.
Just one at a time. Just one at a time on this. But if you may, I mean, you are running. Your party is running to possibly get elected. I mean, what's your own best guess as to how long it will take this country to recover?
Let's put the NPP's record. Just for that, let me make one final point. I can come back.
No, unfortunately, I don't have time. So we have to.
Okay, but I'm saying, let me make this point quickly. Then I'll just come to that. The NPP inherited 50 in 3 years. The NPP has earned 56% of oil revenues flowing into the economy since 2011. It is higher than the total revenue which flowed into the economy by mills and Mahama combined. And yesterday we are faced with this dismal picture. Oil revenue, oil output of about $70,000 per barrel, up to nearly 200 barrels per day. This is what they got. They got ESLA. They've been blaming the energy sector and the banking sector. Anytime they do that, they don't mention ESLA.
Yeah, Mr. Tekwe,
ESLA is supposed to bring us. ESLA is supposed to bring us.
Yes, Mr. Tekwe, I need you to address the question for me. You say it's going to take us longer. How long? What's your best guess?
No, we don't have all the facts. The minister never told us.
Yeah, but if we don't have the facts, how do you know it's going to take longer?
I just gave you the facts.
Okay, well,
which you have been compiling.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful, Mr. Tekwe. Yes. That's Mr. Tekwe. He's a former finance minister there on the question of what the presentation to Parliament today by the finance minister. This is your election headquarters. Well, some angry members of the New Patriotic Party at Asawase in the Eastern region are said to have chased out the staff of the Electricity Company of Ghana and locked their offices. They accuse the ECG of intentionally cutting power supply just when the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was about to address a rally at the Asawase market Tuesday evening. Philip Mensah is a leading member of the NDC at Asawase.
Really put everything in place, and everything was really going on very well until the arrival of His Excellency Alhaji Bawumia and his entourage. We recognize that, yes, the light in Napamanya has gone off. And so we were lucky that the team came with their own, steps, and then at the end of the day, we used the system. We were actually observing what was going on. And lo and behold, just after the program, the light came. The community and our party people at large have suspected that, yes, this is a deliberate act to one in a way to make our party unpopular and then to disrupt the program. And that is unfair.
Well, this is Asasawa in the Eastern region, no Asawase, as I said earlier. Officials of the regional office of the ECG have confirmed the locking of the office but have declined comment on the matter. Let's stay on the campaign trail. With few days to the December polling, two leading candidates, President Akufo-Addo and former President John Dramani Mahama, have intensified their campaigns in the Greater Accra and the Northeast regions. The former president has been touring the Ningo Prampram constituency with a promise to build a district hospital for the people of Prampram.
The Ningo Prampram constituency has always stood by us, NDC. We have always won this seat, and we don't take your support for granted because we know that we have to develop Ningo Prampram, and that's why anytime we're in office, we make sure that whatever is being shared as a national cake, you get your fair share. We have constructed roads in this area. We built a new campus for the Prampram Senior High School. There are several other projects that we have done at the time that we're in government. There are many more that we shall do. We're continuing the road. We put a contractor on the road that continues from Mingo and appears at Chopoli near Sege, so that we can complete the road coming from the main Accra-Apawo road. We also were looking at the Dawinya-Asenya road. We had a contractor on it working, and when the government came, they asked him to stop. So the road is in a very bad condition. We're going to pass there today when we're going to Asenya. But it's one of the roads that we shall prioritize and do when we come to office. I heard the chief linguist, when he was calling the libation, mentioned that particular road, so I know that it's a road that is dear to our hearts. We're also looking at the road from Prampram to Pok. There's a bridge that we must put over the lagoon, and it's not been done since we left office. So when we come, we'll put the bridge over the lagoon and open up that road so that I can ease the traffic on the main road. We also realize that despite the fame that the Prampram has, your highest health facility is a health center. And first, because you are close to Accra, people believe that you should be able to access all the health facilities in Accra. But I think the time has come to have a proper health facility here. And so,
well, my colleague Manuel Cranting has been traveling with the former president, joins us on the telephone line right now. What has been people's reaction to the former president?
So generally, it's been a good reception from all the places that we've been today, right from the Ningo Pram area into the Pram traditional area itself, and then we've been also to the Dawenya area. Later this evening, we've been at Beshe, and we've also been at Ashaman. But in all these places that we've been today, the people are quite receptive. One thing has been running through the chorus, and that is that people are feeling hardship, and that's what they see. That they are hoping that the former president, John Mahama, comes to, as they request, save them from the hardship that they are facing.
Mano, thank you very much. Now, Vice President Dr. Bawumia has challenged the former president, who is, of course, a historian in the Greater Accra region, John Mahama, to tell Ghanaians what single equal opportunity policy he initiated for all Ghanaians when he was president of the country. The former president has been promising to build a country of equal opportunities if given the nod come December 7. But speaking at Spong on Tuesday during his tour of the Eastern region, Dr. Bawumia questioned the sincerity and credibility of Mr. Mahama.
Former President Mahama says he wants to come back to build a country of equal opportunity. I want to ask him what he did for 8 years when he was in government as president and vice president. Where were the equal opportunities they built for Ghanaians? Under Nana Akufo-Addo, the MPP is showing that we are the government of equal opportunity. We are the government of the masses. We are providing equal opportunity for all Ghanaians. We are giving teacher training allowance. We are giving nursing training allowance. We are doing one constituency, one ambulance, one district, one factory, one constituency, $1 million, nation builders corps, one district, one factory, all of the free senior high school education, and we are going to give tertiary loans for access to tertiary education by all. And we want Zongo communities to have model senior high schools. We are the government of equal opportunity. The NDC is the government of a confirm and of an equal opportunity. They are the government of a confirm. They cannot tell you what equal opportunity they have given to our youth.
Well, the president himself earlier today graced a grand deba as part of celebration of the annual Dema Festival by the chiefs and people of Mount Krugu. Now time for sports, and Baba has the latest.
Former FIFA Under-20 World Cup winner Gladson Awako is hoping to catch the eye of the technical handlers of the senior national team, the Black Stars. The 29-year-old, who currently plays for Ghana Premier League side Accra Great Olympics, has a cap with the Black Stars after being invited for an international friendly against Argentina in October 2009. He looks forward to having a good season ahead, with performances good enough to earn him a call-up.
I'm praying to the good Lord to protect me and help me to achieve my aim, and I feel I have so much in me there that I know I can still do. I'm looking up to getting a call-up to the national team as well, which has been one of my targets so far.
On the continental front, Confederation of African Football, CAF President Ahmad has submitted his candidacy to serve a second term in office when elections take place next March. The 60-year-old, who took charge in 2017, has been formally entered into the race by Madagascar's federation, as per CAF rules which require any candidate to be nominated by his own association. He says he accepted to be a candidate while listening to the presidents of the federation, around 46 of whom asked him after receiving his assessment of his initial mandate. Ahmad is deciding to stand again despite being the subject of an ongoing FIFA ethics inquiry, which has the potential to derail his bid and throw March's elections wide open. Now to some Champions League fixtures for tonight. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Sevilla host Rennes. Borussia Dortmund are at home to Zenit St. Petersburg. Lazio travel to Club Brugge. Ferencvaros take on Dynamo Kiev. Juventus host Barcelona. Istanbul Başakşehir take on PSG. And Man United take on Rasenballsport Leipzig. You are up to date in the world of sport. Log on to myjoyonline.com/sports for more headlines and results of all the Champions League matches. My name is Baba Tando.
And that's your latest from the world of sports. So, free primary health care and the National Health Insurance Scheme dominated a debate between the governing NPP and opposition NDC on their health policies as the country prepares for this year's polls. The NDC insists that free primary health care will help the NHIS, while the NPP, on the other hand, says if retained, they will expand health infrastructure to all corners of the country. This was a debate organized between representatives of the two main political parties by Send Ghana. Kweku Asante has more.
With a little over a month ahead of this year's crucial general election, representatives from the two major parties, the NDC and NPP, are discussing why their manifesto policies on health are superior compared to the other. Health has become one of the major talking points ahead of the 2020 election, and Send Ghana, a leading NGO in the health space, is interrogating the policies and programs of the two parties. Here is Deputy Country Director of Send Ghana, Dr. Emmanuel Aifa, explaining the basis for the debate.
We've met here today to actually engage the political parties for them to tell us as stakeholders what exactly their party manifesto borders on health.
Free primary health care will improve the National Health Insurance Scheme. The opposition NDC is insisting as it battles out its health policies contained in its manifesto against that of the NPP. According to a spokesperson for the NDC on health, Dr. Jehu Apia, the free primary health care will focus on health promotion and prevention, which according to him will lift the burden from the NHIS, which covers less than half of the Ghanaian population.
I'm talking about the 40 that do not have coverage. I'm saying that the ideal situation with the Ghana ID, Ghana card. Ghana card will make it easier for everybody to get NASH, but does everybody have it? We're saying that until you have it and you fall sick, if you have not gone through the health promotional issues, the educational issues in the communities, the preventive issues in the country, and you fall sick, are we saying that we should wait for you to get national health insurance before you get help?
On his part, Presidential Advisor on Health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, is assuring that the next NPP government will build new health facilities across the country.
We wanted to upgrade an existing district hospitals and then finish all existing hospitals. I'm happy to say that Eurojet project, or the 9 projects, we have been able to commission 3 of them, one regional hospital at Wa, the district hospital at Kwabenya, and recently, His Excellency the President commissioned the district hospital at Tepa. 2 more hospitals are ready for commissioning. We are hoping we'll do it this month, but maybe in early next month.
But what is the plan of both the NDC and NPP in relation to funding access to vaccines? Both parties have nothing on this in their manifestos.
You not see it written down boldly, but as I said, vaccines are funded as part of the budget of the Ministry of Health in NHIS. So we normally send the bills to NHIS, and then they pay the Gavi directly.
So that is why Gavi doesn't get their money.
I'll give you the reason why Gavi. You know, Gavi, Ghana as a lower middle income economy, we are transitioning from Gavi support. The transition starts in 2022, and by 2028, we are supposed to transition completely and buy our vaccines. And that is what Ghana has been saying. We have to be.
Well, a debate there organized by Send Ghana between the two main political parties so they can articulate the issues on health. Tonight on the manifesto track on PM Express, we are interrogating the party's manifesto when it comes to the agric sector. Very fascinating analysis by ourselves and Imani. And then we'll get to speak to the Deputy Agric Minister and the NDC spokesperson Ghana Greek as well. Make a date with us then, 9 to 10:30 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening. That's it for Newsnight.